The last thing I'll show you on the conditionals side is basically, if we remove this, a thing called the ternary operator. So the ternary operator is a really compact way of being able to have kind of a mini conditional, so like an if-else, which is assigned as if it's an expression. So I'll show you what that means. If I put string mood equals happy, for example, then what I could do is I could say if mood equals happy, do something when the person's happy, otherwise do something else. So for example here I could say create a variable called greeting. Afterwards I can just print the greeting, put a bit of space here, and then inside this conditional I can decide what I'm going to write. So I can say greeting equals I'm happy to awesomeness, with a smiley face for example. Or otherwise, if the mood equals something other than happy, that's too bad, sorry, maybe something like that. So now if we print this by running it, because we set mood to happy, it's going to print this out, I'm happy to high five awesomeness, as you can see here. If we put sad, it's going to print out that's too bad, sorry. Now there's nothing, by the way, as well to check that it's, you know, a valid value, a valid kind of type of mood or whatever. If you wanted to ensure that you could only accept specific moods, you could use something which enables fixed values to be taken on for a variable, and that's the thing called an enumeration, which we'll see later on. So we could put in here, you know, purple, blue, and run, and it would still print out that's too bad, sorry. But that's not the point of what we're showing here. What we're showing here is the fact that we want to do something if the value is happy, otherwise do something else. And we don't care what the other value might be, we just care about doing something else. So just to move this back to happy, we can basically collapse all of this down into a single expression. And we can do that with this ternary operator. So what we can do is we can say greeting equals, and then take what's in here, which is the expression we want to have evaluated. So mood.equals happy. And then with the ternary operator, we use a question mark and a colon. The question mark is what you put after the expression you want to have evaluated, and what you put after the question mark is what you want to return for the evaluation of this ternary operator for the true case. So here mood equals happy, then I want to return this, which was the true case. It was the true case because mood needs to equal happy, and this needs to be true to do this. Otherwise, and this is where we put the colon in, the colon says do effectively what the else would be. So if this isn't true, this expression doesn't equal true, then we're going to return whatever's here. And so here, for example, we can put that's too bad, sorry, close it off with a semicolon, and now we can effectively delete all this and just print the greeting. So now if we Control-Shift-R, we can see it's saying I'm happy to high five awesomeness because mood is happy. So because this is true, it's doing the thing after this question mark here. It's doing this one, the true case. If this was something else like sad, then mood wouldn't equal happy, so it wouldn't do the true case, wouldn't do this, and instead it would jump to the false case, the negative case, which is after the colon. So we do that's too bad, sorry. So if we do Control-Shift-R to run, here we can say it's saying that's too bad, sorry. And also we don't necessarily need to put this into a variable here because we're not using the variable anywhere else between getting its value or assigning its value and actually printing it out. So what we could do instead is we could just basically lose that variable and just wrap the whole thing here into one very concise statement to print out what the message should be. So I do Control-Shift-R now, and it prints out the same thing. Now you can also split this up as well, by the way, to make it a bit more readable. You might want to put mood.equals happy, then print out the true case, underneath print out the false case. Maybe do this as well so you can line up those parentheses. If you have a complex expression here, or some kind of large string here or something, or whatever you want to return back out, it doesn't have to be a string, by the way, it could be some other data type value. Just here we're using a string just to demonstrate with because it's nice and easy to see, but that runs as well, so Control-Shift-R still runs. So you can always indent things or add extra white space, that's the tabs and the new lines and everything, to make things more readable if you like, but you might consider this isn't readable, in which case you can just roll it back with Command Z and just go back to this kind of format here as well, and that's also fine. So again, rerun, prints the same thing, that's too bad, sorry. So yeah, that's the ternary operator in Java, which you can use whenever you want to collapse down a simple if-else, which is assigning a value to a variable. And that's conditionals, an essential piece of kit in your Java programmer toolbox.